The first time Lyra joked about marrying a human, she never imagined it would spark something that would reshape two lives. Lyra belonged to a wandering starfaring people known for their calm logic and steady hearts. She served as a diplomat on a patrol vessel that studied young civilizations. When her ship entered the borders of human space for the first official cultural exchange, she expected an interesting assignment, but nothing more. She imagined formal meetings, cautious greetings, and measured conversations. Humans, however, were nothing like her expectations. The ambassador assigned to assist the alien delegation was a young man named Tom, chosen for his calm nature and clear voice. Tom had trained for years to speak with off-world visitors, and he approached his duty with careful respect. When he first met Lyra, he bowed slightly, offered a greeting, and spoke with perfect clarity. Lyra had admired many things in her travels, but Tom's sincerity struck her as strangely refreshing. On their first day together, Lyra observed how Tom tried to explain human customs with gentle enthusiasm. He pointed out art pieces in the welcome hall, described the meaning of symbolic colors, and offered historical context for every detail. Lyra listened with patient attention. When he finished, she told him that humans were delightfully expressive for a young species. Tom laughed softly, thinking she meant something humorous. Lyra, curious about human reactions, asked why the comment was amusing. Tom explained that most humans rarely heard compliments from alien visitors, and that his people held a certain pride in being considered expressive. Lyra watched his bright expression and found it pleasant. During their second meeting, Lyra sampled human food for the first time. Tom guided her through a selection of simple dishes, pointing out textures and flavors. Lyra's species did not require food in the same manner, but they could enjoy it when necessary for diplomatic courtesy. She studied the plate Tom placed before her and gave an experimental bite. Her eyes widened at the sudden burst of taste. Tom waited anxiously for her review. She tilted her head thoughtfully, then said the food delivered such vivid sensation that she might consider marrying a human, just to secure a lifetime supply of it. Tom nearly dropped his cup. Lyra watched his face turn several shades of red and realized humans reacted dramatically to mentions of marriage. She apologized gently, clarifying that the statement was playful. Tom assured her he understood, though his voice trembled slightly. Lyra made a mental note to ask her cultural advisor why marriage jokes cause such reactions among humans. She also noted that Tom's embarrassed smile had a curious warmth that lingered in her thoughts long after the meeting. Their sessions continued over the next cycles. Tom brought her stories, music, and traditions. Lyra shared the disciplined history of her people. She described star voyages far beyond the edge of human charts. She explained her culture's philosophy of balance and harmony. Tom listened as if every word mattered deeply. His attention, his sincerity, and his ability to find wonder in every detail began to affect her in ways she had not expected. Lyra's people experienced emotion differently from humans. Their feelings were steady currents, not storms. Yet around Tom, Lyra felt new sensations she struggled to categorize. She found herself anticipating their meetings with a gentle spark of excitement. She noticed how her thoughts drifted toward him, even when she studied official reports. She caught herself adjusting the tone of her voice when speaking to him, lowering it slightly, because humans found her natural resonance soothing. It puzzled her, but she did not resist the feeling. Instead, she studied it with the same curiosity she applied to everything else. Tom's colleagues noticed his growing attachment as well. He denied nothing. He confessed that he admired Lyra's composure, intelligence, and gentle humor. He also admitted he felt a connection he could not easily explain. His friends reminded him that she was an alien, and that relationships with off-world diplomats were complicated. Tom heard every warning, yet none of them changed his feelings. He simply said that Lyra made him want to become the best version of himself. One afternoon, while showing Lyra a quiet garden near the embassy, Tom asked if she remembered her joke about marrying a human. Lyra nodded. Tom then asked whether her people often teased others that way. Lyra paused. She considered her words carefully. She told him that such joking was rare among her kind because they valued precision in speech. Tom blinked at her answer. That meant the joke had been something unusual for her. Lyra explained that she had not meant it as a serious proposal, but had used humor to express appreciation. She added that she regretted causing him discomfort. Tom shook his head and assured her she had caused no discomfort. He said the joke had surprised him only because marriage was a significant bond for humans. Lyra listened with interest. She asked him to explain what made such a bond unique. Tom described the human view of partnership, commitment, and the desire to walk through life with someone who made the journey brighter. Lyra absorbed every word. When he finished, she asked whether he personally hoped for such a bond someday. Tom hesitated, then admitted the idea had become more meaningful to him lately. Lyra felt something shift within her at that moment. It was not a storming emotion, but a steady warmth that radiated through her chest. She looked toward the garden pond and watched the still water reflect patches of sunlight. Her people valued clarity, and in that silence she understood her growing feelings more clearly than before. She admired Tom. She enjoyed his presence. She wanted to continue learning from him, exploring human customs and sharing her own. She wanted the connection to last. The next cycle, Lyra invited Tom aboard her vessel for a cultural exchange event. The ship's interior glowed softly with ambient lighting that matched the calm energy of her people. Tom walked beside her, asking questions and marveling at the technology. Lyra answered each question with pride. She introduced him to members of her crew. Many of them were curious about humans and welcomed him warmly. One elder asked Tom whether he was the human who received Lyra's humorous marriage comment. Tom laughed gently and confirmed it. The elder nodded thoughtfully and said he hoped the sentiment would one day become mutual. Tom nearly stumbled, while Lyra remained calm, though her heart stirred again. Later, Lyra showed Tom a chamber filled with floating crystal spheres. They emitted faint hums that resonated with the movement of nearby mines. Tom asked what purpose the spheres served. Lyra explained that they stored emotional impressions, helping her people understand their inner states. She then revealed that she had recorded impressions of her recent experiences, though she rarely used the device. Tom asked, with some hesitation, whether those impressions mentioned him. Lyra's eyes met his, and she answered truthfully that many of them did. Tom's breath caught. He asked if he could touch one of the spheres. Lyra hesitated. Her people rarely allowed outsiders to interact with such devices. Yet she trusted him. She guided his hand toward a sphere that held her earliest impression about him. The moment he touched it, the sphere glowed brighter. Tom felt the gentle echo of Lyra's first reaction to him. It was calm curiosity mixed with unexpected warmth. He lifted his hand with awe. Lyra watched him, feeling a quiet vulnerability she had never shared with anyone. As the cycles passed, their bond deepened. They spent long hours talking, learning, and exploring. Lyra began to understand why humans cherished emotional connection so strongly. She found herself delighting in small moments with Tom, such as the way he paused to appreciate a new discovery, or how he smiled at her with unguarded sincerity. Tom learned to read her subtle expressions. He could tell when she was amused, even if her face barely shifted. He could sense when she was concerned or thoughtful. Their differences no longer felt like barriers, but rather bridges that made every new understanding feel precious. The light-hearted proposal Lyra once made now hovered between them with new weight. Neither spoke of it directly, but both felt its presence. Lyra wondered whether humans changed their behavior when affection became deeper. Tom wondered whether her people viewed emotional attachment as a weakness. They were both uncertain, yet they continued to draw closer without hesitation. One evening, as the sky dimmed into a deep violet, Tom walked with Lyra along a quiet path near the landing site. The breeze carried the scent of new flowers. The world felt calm. Tom turned to her and asked whether her people valued bonds that crossed species. Lyra answered that such connections were uncommon, but not forbidden. She added that her people prioritized emotional truth above origin. Tom nodded slowly. He then asked her how she viewed the idea of forming a lasting bond with someone unlike herself. Lyra took her time to answer. She said she had spent many cycles studying human behavior and had come to admire the resilience, creativity, and passionate hearts of humans. She said the thought of forming a lasting bond with someone like that was not frightening. Tom felt hope rising in him. He decided to speak honestly. He told her that her presence had changed his view of the universe. He said he admired her steady strength, her patience, and the gentle humor she shared. He said that if her earlier proposal had been spoken with even a hint of truth, he would not shy away from it. Lyra felt a bright warmth fill her. She stepped a little closer to him. She said her people did not rush.